Hi, I'm Freedom. I'm a Rule 1 faculty member. It was actually my son who found Rule 1 back in 2018. And during that time, our family was actually going through a little bit of a crisis. So we were looking for some motivation and something to be excited about. And I actually took my son to a Tony Robbins conference. And during that conference, Phil Town was speaking, and my son absolutely loved him, loved his story, loved his military past, and that he was a river guide and now a successful investor. So he wanted to go on and go to the Rule 1 investing course, and that's exactly what we did. And that was just a couple weeks later. And when I sat down on that first day and heard Phil speak and felt the motivation and the excitement of all the people around me, one of the things that Phil said that stuck with me and really was my aha moment of the weekend was he said, "I can help you create generational wealth." And that's exactly what I wanted to do for myself and for my son. Generational wealth, just in the basic way, is the idea of passing on assets to the next generation. Normally people think about cash or real estate or stocks, and that is a big part of it, but I actually also want to think of the intangibles. A really important thing that you can pass on is your thinking about money and your knowledge around money, and that's again something that Rule 1 has given me to pass on. So I was in the corporate world. I was doing exactly what I was told I was supposed to do. I had a fantastic career. I put away the X percentage that I'm supposed to save every time. I gave that to in my investments. And again, I'm from Canada, so what we had were RSPs and tax-free savings accounts. So I did everything. I maxed all of those out. And when it came to a time of financial instability in our household, it wasn't enough. I was worried, I was stressed, and I just realized that it didn't give me the standard way of what we're taught, the process that we are taught isn't enough to give me financial security. And Rule 1 just allowed me to find something to add to that, a different way to add to the basis that I already had. I mean, one of the founding principles of Rule 1 is don't lose money. And Rule 1 investors, what they focus on is finding wonderful companies that they can invest in for the long term. And what's a wonderful company? To Rule 1, that's something that has meaning to you, something that has a strong competitive advantage, so a moat, and has a successful and strong management team. And if you can do that, if you can spend the time to find those wonderful companies and then invest in them and at an attractive price, you can't help but create generational wealth. That is a way to invest for your future that will continue to grow. For someone who wants to create generational wealth for themselves, I'd say just start grabbing pieces of information out there. Start educating yourself. Right now, more than ever, there's information anywhere you look to learn about finances and investing. Just grab it, including the Rule 1 course. These are places that you can get all the information you need as a beginner and really get into it. Rule 1 can fit into your daily practice of, I actually listen to a morning podcast as I'm getting ready. Right now, I still have an active career outside of Rule 1. I do Rule 1 because I love it. I love being with the students. I love it as part of my family's traditions, but I also teach in higher education. I'm also practicing learning lots of new hobbies, so you're able to instill this just by picking a new book to read each month. In our family, we do one book in investing every 2 months, and then we review it together, and then we also listen to podcasts. So all these things could be 15 minutes a day, and I think all of us have 15 minutes a day. My son and I invest together. For us, for the journey with Rule 1 and to create generational wealth and to learn how to protect it, we had to do this together. That was the only way that I saw it could be successful. So we have, from day one, back in 2018, been doing the education together. So education is the first important piece of it. Getting that education, reading, watching the news, paying attention, looking for companies, and then engaging with other activities. So like I mentioned, we have podcasts that we listen to weekly. So we go out on a hike every Sunday and listen to this podcast together. And then we talk about it, engage, and have that knowledge that goes back and forth between us. And then the reading, keeping that active. And we also set out at the beginning of the year, we set up a plan. So we have an annual plan of what our goals are and our promises to each other for creating financial wealth. And that plays a big role and keeps us motivated and working together. This has been an amazing way to have a beautiful bond with my child, and I love that. Rule 1 has given me hope at a time when I didn't have it. It's given me financial stability. It's given me the knowledge and the skills that I can pass on to my son for future generational wealth. And I know that Rule 1 can give that to you as well.